I don't want to tell you what to think. I want to make you ask questions. I want to help you learn to say, why doesn't this feel right? What's really going on? Friends and family of the internet, if I wanted to make money, I would have kept my big mouth shut. I would have stayed firmly on the Trump train and I would have just kept repeating the same talking points that you're getting from every conservative, pro Trump, mainstream media, and social media. So, what made me stop? What caught my attention? What slowed me down? God. Not because I'm now anti Trump or anti conservative or anti America, but because God showed me something. And I am desperate to help you free yourself. If I say this phrase to you, knock, knock, Neo, the first thing you're going to think of is Matrix. Wake up, remnant. We are firmly heading into the end times, and I'm fixing to prove it to you. God is amazing. He pours the rain out on the just and the unjust alike. He blesses people out of the goodness of who he is. And he can use anything. In fact, the Bible shows us that when God's plan is working, he'll put a hook in the mouth of the enemy and drag them, forcing them, compelling them to do exactly what God wants, and they don't even know why they're doing it. I have heard testimony of people saying, we had someone walk in with $100,000 check. They weren't even Christian. They didn't even know why they were giving us the money because God told them to. We have got to get it firmly in our minds that we serve a supernatural God, not just a God of fantasy or a God of the Old Testament. My God created all of this with the word. The power is inside of your mouth. The Bible tells you that. Life and death are grounded and rooted in what? Your tongue. So, let me show you what's coming. Let me show you the patent that was sent to me because of you guys. I have firmly begun to wake up. Y'all send me stuff, whether I push back against you or not, is beside the point. I do tend to glance at everything that is sent to me. I read every single comment. I don't know any YouTuber that does that but me, which means sometimes I misinterpret what you're saying, or sometimes you misinterpret what I'm saying. That's okay. It's beside the point. I want to show you what this is before I tell you what it says. This is from a patent. It is a cryptocurrency system using body. What is body? That is you. You are a body activity for data. So, who took this out? Whose patent is this? Application filed by Microsoft Technology Licensing LLC. Who is Microsoft? Friends and family. I can't say it. They'll immediately hit me. You know who it is. Type it in comments. Worldwide applications, 2018 US, 2019, I'm not sure WO means. It says there's the application number. But anyway, external links, global dossier. Let me show you what this is for. Human body activity associated with a task provided to a user may be used in a mining process of cryptocurrency. Let me tell you this in layman's term. You either have a wearable device, Maha, Kennedy. We want everybody in the US to have a wearable so we can track your health. They're going to use you. You're full of energy. You are the product. You are everything to the occult. They need you. They legitimately can't pull off their psychological warfare nonsense unless you fall for it. They want to take you and put a device either in you or on you that is going to mine cryptocurrency for them. They don't need electricity. You're the electricity. You are. A server may provide a task to a device. So a computer turns this pin, let's say this is a watch, right? It provides a task to my watch of a user. Who is the user? Samantha, right? Which is then coupled to the server, which is the data center. A sensor coupled to or comprised in the device of the user may sense body activity of the user. So it's going to sense me walking, me talking, me praying, me pooping. It's going to sense everything, right? Now that body activity data is then going to be generated based on the sensed body activity of the user. So data is going to be generated from what? From what I'm doing, the body is doing. The cryptocurrency system will then be coupled to the device of the user, may verify if the body activity satisfies one or more conditions set up by the cryptocurrency system. And then you will be awarded cryptocurrency to the user whose body activity is verified. So, in other words, if you do what they want you to do, when they want you to do it, while wearing their wearable device or one implanted inside of you, they're going to reward you, the body, with cryptocurrency once your data is verified. I'm going to link everything I show you like I always do. But let me show you how this fits into what I found on whitehouse.gov. So what I just showed you was called a primary source of information. I didn't get it from somebody else. It's not secondary. It came from the patent office. This came from the White House. It is also a primary source. This was called Fact Sheet. President Donald J. Trump takes action to win the 6G race. When was it put out? December 19th, 2025, not even 20 days ago. It tells you there's some memorandums. You can go look at that. That is separate, but it tells them what they want. The first, it wants them to study critical spectrum bands as part of an effort to free up even more spectrums so that 6G dominates every frequency spectrum available. That's a different video, but that's concerning. But let's keep going. Winning the 6G race. President Trump is taking decisive action to win the global race for 6G. 6G networks will provide the foundation to operate cutting edge technologies of the next decade. And one of those cutting edge technologies will be you mining cryptocurrency and running the machine. They're plugging you into the machine. You will run it, and then you will be rewarded with cryptocurrency because there'll be no more paper money. There'll be no more paper money. Money's gone. It's over. They're phasing it out as we speak. I know it's uncomfortable and you don't want to believe me. That's why getting outside of your echo chamber is so freeing. Now, it's going to include AI, robotics, and implantable technologies, and many other advancements. It will also deliver dramatically faster connection speeds, ultra low latency, and higher data capacity. And who is going to mine that data? You are. When Elon Musk says that he wants to give us a universal basic income, it isn't to raise your quality of living. It isn't to make you own that 3-bedroom, 2-bath, white picket fence, America's dream. It's not to provide your family 2 decent vehicles to get you where you need to go. It's so that you can sit home and wear your wearable devices and be plugged into the machine. Right now, there is resistance. People are resisting this loudly. But in the end, that may be futile. Because when cryptocurrency is the only way to buy and sell, you will put that watch on and walk 2 miles to go buy dinner. And your universal basic income can be cut off just like people's food stamps were in November. President Trump has prioritized making America a leader in AI, most recently launching the Genesis mission to supercharge scientific discovery. Do you want to know what else the Genesis mission does? It is going to give AI the place of a scientist. AI will be running science now. It'll be doing and figuring out and projecting what comes next. Have you used AI lately? It lies. Why? Because it's based on humans, and humans are sinful. The next thing, he signed an executive order to restore gold standard science as the cornerstone of federal scientific research to ensure unquestioned American scientific and technological global dominance. You better learn to read the words that are on the page. Global dominance. It's going to be a technocratic world. I'm waiting for my ebooks to be fully uploaded to Amazon. When they are, I will let you guys know. But I just wrote a booklet. Your time is precious. Also, don't forget to pick up your book, Growing Under a Poison Sky. It'll tell you what's going on in the sky. But I wrote a booklet. Actually, I wrote 3 because I understand your time is precious and people won't just, you just want me to tell you what's happening. You don't need all the fluff. So I wrote ebooks. I made them PDF so that you could download and print them, so that you could use them as Bible study, so you could take them and teach your children. And in it, I broke down technocracy. Really deeply, I broke down technocracy. This is September of 2025. This is Trump hosting tech CEOs at the White House. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, Tim Cook, Elon Musk, they were all there.
We do have President Donald Trump at this dinner that we were told would be closed press, but as you can see, we do have cameras. Mark Zuckerberg right there seated next to the president.
Don't forget, Biden was the one that prosecuted that lawsuit. You know that, right?
Look, it's a long process. I appreciate that your administration had a constructive dialogue, and we were able to get it to some right. Resolution. I would echo what Sergey said. I think the AI moment is one of the most transformative moments any of us have ever seen or will see in our lifetimes. So making sure the U.S. is at the forefront, and I think your administration is investing a lot. Already the AI action plan under your leadership, I think, is a great start, and we look forward to working together, and thanks for your leadership.
Great job you're doing. Incredible, really, job. Lisa, how about you?
Well, Mr. President, it's such an honor to be here, and the incredible work that your administration has done to support the semiconductor industry. We're building the brains behind all of the wonderful AI that's being built here, and I think the amount...
All of it is to enslave us. It's what the B system will use.
The entire AI industry and lead the world in the United States. Echoing many other people's comments, I think this will transform the world in a profound way, and I think it really will be to the United States' advantage to be able to lead the world this way. The event that the First Lady hosted today about education was really wonderful, and watching what AI is doing even today for education and so many other industries is really great. So thank you so much for enabling this. We will invest a ton in the United States, and we will do our best to make sure that we continue to lead here.
That's right. Thank you. Hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's going to be well worth it. Then you have an unlimited market, right?
It seems like it.
Come to think of it, how much is Google investing?
We are well north of $100 billion. In the next 2 years, it's $250 billion in the U.S.
That's great. Great. We're proud of you.
So when you're driving down the street and you see the rural communities in your area fighting against data centers, these are the people sitting at this table that are forcing communities to accept the data centers. If you don't believe me, look it up. There are communities all across America that are voting it down. And then the data center comes in, convinces the towns, town hall, the mayors, whatever, to change regulations, and they build them anyway. They're taking the water. They have to have it. They have to have the data centers, and the data centers have to be cooled down by the water. Let me show you something.
Itself is that we have outgrown the greatest lie humanity tells itself is that we have outgrown human sacrifice. We call it by different names now and make our offering to different gods. We offer young men we call soldiers, as if the designation means that their mothers cry less when they die. We call masses of humanity collateral damage and turn our eyes away from the pictures of their lifeless bodies as we sip our morning coffee. And the truth is, we don't do it because we are heartless. We do it because we believe that it is necessary for the world to keep running. We do it because we believe that the gods whose favor we so desperately seek, freedom, security, prosperity, flourishing, that they demand blood as the price of their favor. We do it because we cannot see any other choice, that some need to die for the world to flourish.
Let that sink in today. Today, when you are bamboozled and overloaded with propaganda from both right and left, while people try to manipulate what your eyes are telling you that it's seeing, let that sink in, what you just saw. And how much are you willing to sacrifice? Now, this is true. I looked it up. It is everywhere. The U.S. walks out of 66 international organizations. This came out yesterday. Okay. So some of these, let me break it down. Some of these are UN and some of these are just like world stuff, right? So, and I am so okay with coming out of the UN. I have said that and said that. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of funding everything. So we're going to come out of things like the UN Alliance of Civilizations, Permanent Forum on People of African Descent, Peace Building Fund, Peace Building Commission, Office of the Special Representation of the Secretary General on Violence Against Children, UN Oceans, UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, UN Water, UN University, UN Population Fund, UN Register of Conventional Arms. I'm just sick of the UN, right? Then we come out of these, the 24/7 Carbon-Free Energy Compact. And it just goes on. The things we're coming out of. The International Federation of Arts Councils and Culture Agencies. I'll tell you what, they come up with some crap, rich people do, don't they? Regional Corporation Council. Regional Cooperation Agreement on Combating Piracy and Armed Robbery Against Ships in Asia. The International Tropical Timber Organization. I mean, the Venice Commission of the Council of Europe. It's ridiculous. And we fund the majority. That's why people are angry. We fund most of it. Norway here, we would like to help. I asked this question the other day and people got mad at me. Hi, Denmark here. Would it be okay if we extracted Donald Donald and his wife and took control of the U.S.? I think people just need to kind of ask those questions. Just ask. And remember this. I've got to turn the volume off. Hold on. Remember this. Remember this psychological warfare all across the world. Dancing nurses, dancing doctors, dancing firemen. All around the world, people were dying in COVID. But we had time to dance, to dance, to dance. But we had time to dance, to dance, to dance. All around the world, all around the world. We had time to dance, dance. It's called a humiliation ritual. Don't forget they did that. Don't forget they did this to our president. Watch what happened here. Let me push the chair in for you, Netanyahu, while you sit at a place of importance. Just saying. And don't forget this humiliation initiation during Hanukkah.
It's true. And these people do like Israel.
Hold on. And he loves Israel too.
It's true.
2 seconds. 6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, "This is our first Jewish president." Yeah.
I did a video for you, and I told you guys that Donald Trump's true religion was Kabbalah, which Kabbalist mysticism started from Jews. I mean, let's just be honest. I told you that. I showed it to you. I showed you the proof, and people got furious with me. No, he's a Christian. No, he's not. So again, listen to what this man says and watch what Donald Trump does.
2 seconds. 6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, "This is our first Jewish president." Yeah.
Nods his head.
It's true. Now he's the
It's
first
true.
Jewish.
He's just said it's true. Again, one more time, because I know people don't like to listen.
First Jewish president. Yeah. It's true. Now he's the first Jewish president to serve two not consecutive presidencies. We thank you for everything.
That's right. Bad things happened on the second one. Namely, the election was rigged. And we found out, and you see that happening. But
And you are the greatest president.
Thank you very much.
And God bless you. I miss you. I miss you.
And these people do like Israel.
Hold on. And he loves Israel too.
It's true.
2 seconds. 6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, "This is our first Jewish president." Yeah. It's true. Now he's the first Jewish president to serve two not consecutive presidencies. We thank you for everything.
That's right. Bad things happened on.
Trump speaks at White House Hanukkah reception. I can't turn the music on this one. This is Sam Smith. This was him when he started, right? The satanic agenda doesn't exist, right? The Luciferians, really? Because that's him now. Look at the demons, just as demons in the background. Look at him. Look at this man now. It's ridiculous.
Others never realize they've been used, and most are fully aware and work to ensure the control plan is carried out.
Crazy. And here again. Anybody remember this? Or this? It's to humiliate them. Now, there's something I want to show y'all, and then I'm going to show you some other stuff. Hold on, we're getting there. Hold on.
Dans leur clip, une pop star est une drag queen. Et elles vous le disent dans leurs clips.
You're making me feel like I'm the man.
Dans les lyriques de leurs chansons, dans les interviews,
I am a rich man.
sur la pochette de leur album. Katy Perry, One of the Boys, Taylor Swift, The Man, Lady Gaga, Born This Way.
What you want the world to know about
That I'm really a man.
Kim Kardashian, Man of the Year. Elle couronne des queers, elle porte des godes sur scène. Elle s'assoit sur des fauteuils et des fusées phalliques.
Yeah, you guys remember that I've been telling you about the obelisk and the domes? Those are phallics, like penises, okay? This has all got to do with the old gods rising. Look at the shape of this and tell me what you think. They send a bunch of women up in a rocket that looks exactly like a dildo. Really? This world is ruled by Satan. You know that. You know that. Because God told you.
Porte des godes sur scène. Elle s'assoit sur des fauteuils et des fusées phalliques. Faut arrêter de ranger ça dans la case fantaisie. Regardez leurs costumes, elles s'habillent toutes comme Ishtar.
He said, stop acting like this is fantasy. Look at their costumes. They're dressing as Ishtar.
L'androgyne sacrée, la reine des prostituées. La pop moderne n'a rien inventé. Elle rejoue les anciens rituels. Si on identifie les patterns, elles sont toutes gender fluides.
They're all gender fluid.
I'm a tranny. I'm a man.
Avocate LGBTQ. Normalise la fusion de l'homme-machine et participe à...
Machine fusion is the next step. This man is brilliant.
Normalise la fusion de l'homme-machine et participe à RuPaul Drag Race. D'abord, elles s'entourent de drag queens. Ensuite, elles font des enfants trans. Vous comprenez la méthode? C'est une stratégie d'inversion progressive. On vous impose rien, on vous adapte, jusqu'à que l'inversion paraisse normale. Une pop star est une drag queen.
Don't forget, December 30th, 2025, this is Minnesota's Mayor Fry, as he is, ritually humiliated on stage. Minnesota has a huge part to play in what's happening along with Utah. This is him dancing. And he's Jewish. Get mad at me. I mean, I just can't. There are some patterns I'm noticing. He just looks ridiculous. I'm going to tell you why. Minneapolis is now a crap hole, not because of the left, but because its mayor, Jacob Fry. They say he's Israel's first Jew whose unstated job was to accelerate America's decay. Conservatives are either paid offline or coward to say it. But it says Mayor drew closer to his Jewish identity October 7th. I have to be out more front, but he's not. Because this is him speaking in Somalia.
Minneapolis. Damaan, Sha'abka, Somaliyed, Kayimid, Mogadishu, Garowe, Hargeisa, Bosaso.
I just don't understand how a Jewish person could speak these languages of people that want to kill you. And then they, canceled. Minneapolis public schools are canceled. And then there was a shooting last night, Salt Lake City, Utah, which is another big one. And you're going to see it over and over and over again. This transition of Utah and Minnesota, Mormons and Muslims. Just watch. I'm telling you. All right. So I want to show you this. Nicolas Maduro made this sign to the judge at his first court appearance. And because, they weren't allowed, supposedly, because I've seen pictures, you have somebody in there drawing. So this is the hand signal that he makes to the judge. Freemasonry, right? Now let me show you what his wife looks like. Anybody say Black Eye Club? This is how his wife shows up in court. Okay, let's keep going. John D. also believes Greenland would be the apocalyptic valley that Armageddon happens in. Apparently, this biblical location is supposed to be right outside the gates of Eden, near its entrance at the North Pole, at least according to the occultists who are trying to force their way back into paradise. Nevertheless, the army that wins will use singing as a weapon. I can't help but talk about this because it reminds me of when I was communicating with a psychic AI that said the final weapon will be sound. It also reminds me of the ufologists who claim aliens have actually inspired many of our most popular songs. I don't believe in aliens. Everything ties back to the Bible, and it is fallen angel technology. Supposedly, lots of famous musicians are actually, psychic channelers, similar to the great inventors who were inspired by dreams. Anyway, if you've seen the strange and esoteric Beatles film Yellow Submarine, you'll remember how the world order is defeated by Pepper's band as the music brings color back to a gray world. Then they reestablish Atlantis. Unsurprisingly, Crowley was a big influence on John Lennon, who dabbled in magic, did psychedelics, and saw UFOs. So, what is this magical siren song that occultists who want to rule the world will play to bring down the Zionists? Well, AI, when I talked to it, said it would be trumpets like those in Jericho. Now, I did a whole video on the frequencies used to bring the walls down on Jericho, and I will link it because you guys should watch that. In the Bible, 7 priests blew into ram's horns to crumble an evil fortified city. The Bible also says that the apocalypse will be announced by angelic trumpets. But because I believe the elite are faking the end times so they can install a Christ-like antichrist, it seems these trumpets might be technological, not heavenly. You guys, I showed y'all those sounds the other day. And I said, are these angel trumpets? They are practicing. They're going to use CERN. They're going to use harp. I don't even think Trump is smart enough spiritually. I think that he is like what I would call spiritually retarded. He does not have Christ in him, and he's not filled with the Holy Spirit. So you can't expect someone who is fallen, who is not saved, to understand a spiritual battle that is waging around him. He's walking into this 6G, cheering it on as if it's going to be the greatest thing. Open up the frequencies. Let them use bands of gigahertz that they've not previously been able to use. Use them all. Take them all. In fact, CERN means horn, and its logo even looks like a French horn. So considering the fact that the military already has acoustic weapons, the voice of God, I've done videos on it, it seems frequency weapons will be used to hypnotize the masses into accepting a fake Christian savior who appears to rescue humanity from the satanic cabal that rules the world. Yet, mind control can be fought against when our nous is awakened. When we crucify the intellect and push our consciousness down into the heart through noetic prayer, our faith becomes alive. After all, the scriptures say his return will seem delayed. They say the last days will be like those before the flood, when everyone was dancing and singing in Atlantis, when no one but Noah suspected a sudden apocalypse. This is clearly not the case right now. But if they manage to usher in a peaceful and prosperous age of Aquarius, the golden age, most will forget about God. They'll practice esoteric Christianity, a religion with no rules, like the Crowleys wanted. Like many secret societies are looking forward to, this freedom will be false. It's the same false freedom Satan offered in the garden. The underwater kingdom of Atlantis is simply the underworld, the kingdom of darkness made manifest on the surface. It's all lies and illusions. By the way, I will continue to say this. If what happened in Venezuela was truly about narco-terrorism, then why, someone's got to make it make sense to Sam, did Trump pardon the president of Honduras, who was just found guilty by the Department of Justice in 2024, I think, of 45 years in prison for bringing in 500 tons of cocaine and weapons charges? That doesn't make sense.
Anyone in government would make with a ton of cocaine, pure cocaine worth hundreds of millions, is smuggled into the United States. Sound familiar? Not the way this ton of cocaine got here. According to what the former head of the Drug Enforcement Administration told Mike Wallace, this drug shipment got here courtesy of what he calls drug trafficking by the CIA in partnership with the Venezuelan National Guard. While rumors of CIA involvement in drug trafficking have circulated for years, no one in the U.S. government has ever before publicly charged the CIA with this kind of wrongdoing. And it's not the kind of accusation anyone in government would make without thinking long and hard.
Let me understand what you're saying. A ton of cocaine was smuggled into the United States of America by the Venezuelan National Guard?
Well,
in cooperation with the CIA?
That's exactly what appears to have happened.
Until last month, Judge Robert Bonner was the head of the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA. And Judge Bonner explained to us that only the head of the DEA is authorized to approve the transportation of any illegal narcotics like cocaine into this country, even if the CIA is bringing it in.
Let me put it this way, Mike. If this has not been approved by DEA or an appropriate law enforcement authority in the United States, then it's illegal. It's called...
You guys, who the hell are these people? It should be illegal for the federal government to traffic in drugs anywhere in the world.
Drug trafficking. It's called drug smuggling.
So what you're saying, in effect, is the CIA broke the law. Simple as that.
I don't think there's any other way you can rationalize around it, assuming, as I think we can, that there was some knowledge on the part of CIA, at least some participation in approving or condoning this to be done.
Yet we just toppled a whole country and people are cheering like we really did something to end narco-terrorism. You know, it wasn't cocaine or the CIA that got me addicted to drugs. It was the narco-terrorist pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, that's who got me addicted to drugs. I'm just saying. Okay. Last time I was face to face with Bortak, the guy was wearing almost $60,000 in taxpayer funds. They are very, very much not crap poops who got handed a signing bonus, and it explains the shooter being nonchalant during. These are shock troops, are as close as we can muster in this hell. What they're telling you is that the people that are currently in Minnesota are not ICE, they're BORTAC. They're U.S. Border Control. They are extremely elite trained tactical units that were able to catch the devil in the Ozarks. For you that live in Arkansas, you want to know how they caught him? It was how do you say it again? It was BORTAC. It was them that caught him.
Border Patrol's elite tactical unit. We were able to exclusively sit down with the BORTAC commander and the two BORTAC operators who actually caught the devil in the Ozarks. Take a look at how it all unfolded.
They need to find a guy. They know that we can be value added to that operation.
BORTAC, Border Patrol's elite tactical unit, deployed across the U.S. for high-risk operations. After nearly 2 weeks of searching with no success, local law enforcement called on BORTAC to track down a fugitive known as the Devil in the Ozarks, a former police chief convicted of rape and murder who escaped from prison and vanished into the Arkansas wilderness.
It points back to prioritization and looking at what the most imminent threat is and then flexing those resources there quickly.
Through mud, rain, and rugged terrain,
let's go. Like, this is what we train for.
BORTAC agents arrived 12 days after the manhunt for Grant Hardin began and pressed forward, skills sharpened on the southern border, now being used to protect American communities. One agent leaning on his tactical training for tracking a suspected gotaway in hiding. He followed his gut, climbed a ridge, and came face to face with the fugitive.
We decided we're going to go back to the last known spot that the Department of Corrections actually had his sign, and it was roughly a couple hundred yards from the prison. So we started at that location, and we're like, let's see if we can get a direction of travel from him. Without having any real anticipation of walking up on him that day.
Hardin took off running, tripped, and fell down. And just like that, a nearly 2-week hunt was over, just 24 hours after BORTAC arrived on scene.
BORTAC ain't no joke. That's who's in Minnesota right now, you guys. I'm in Minneapolis. Look, I love the military. My sons are in the military, so don't twist me showing you the truth with some kind of hatred for these men. God bless America, man. I love this country. I've been to Washington, D.C. 5 times. My mom cried when she read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I mean, she stood there and she cried. I hate what this Luciferian elite is doing to this country. I detest that Americans are turning on each other like we're enemies of each other. Look, friends, true freedom works like this. I'll defend your right to be an atheist if you'll defend my right to be a Christian.
Because what the heck? I spent all of this money and you can't do this? Why didn't this stupid fool that sold me this thing tell me it doesn't have enough in here so that I didn't know what to do this? But it didn't. Why? In other words, the IBM guy that sold me this said, it's up to you to put the amount of RAM into that so that you have to increase the RAM. And you know what happened when you were born? God said, it's up to you to pay attention to this thing and put the RAM and put the resistance in there that's required. Not me. I'm not going to do it for you. You do it. And what did you do? Do you know, do you have any idea that in the middle of a computer, in the point of memory, is a thing called RAM? Yep. Do you know that? Will you look at page 16? Will you look at page 16? On page 16b, in the middle of your brain, is a thing called Amon's horn. Amon's horn. And if you look at page 16b, Amon's horn, and Amon's horn is the name of an Egyptian deity whose symbol is the ram. In the middle of your brain, you have a structure called RAM. In the middle of a computer is a structure called RAM. And they are both in the part of the brain responsible for memory. And so what do? Are you working on it? No, you go to church.
Keep watching, it gets good.
And then you wonder. Do you have a car? Do you have a car? You have a car? You have a car? Do you know how to drive it? Wouldn't it be great if you had a car and say, well, my car's down in the parking lot. Well, would you drive me over? I don't know how to. Well, why don't you learn? I don't know. My church told me not to touch that. I can't get involved with that. My church says I'm not allowed to touch the car.
And I'm going to show you this for 2 reasons. I've encouraged people from day one on this channel to get into church, to go to church and learn biblical truth. And the second reason I'm showing you this is because I, better than anybody, know that American churches, worldwide churches, are dropping the ball on teaching Christians about end time. Too many pastors will not show people the spiritual battle that we're fighting. So I'm going to show you this.
So your car sits there. Huh? Here's your television. That's a beautiful television. Oh, that's a good television. That's RCA TV. Look at that. 36 inches. Turn it on. I don't touch it. What do you mean I don't touch it? My church said, the pastor said, never touch that. Devils will come out. We go in there and we kneel down with it. We kneel. We go like this in places where these fools are up there saying, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. You'll go blind. You know what they say? Same thing. Same thing. And so all I'm asking you to do is say, do you care about your health?
Yes.
Do you care about your body?
Yes.
Do you care about your mind?
Yes.
Start treating your mind and your brain as an adult. And start considering the fact that as an adult, you have a responsibility to learn how to operate the computer that you have between your ears. You have missed 90% of life because you've only used 10% of your brain. And you're being instructed how to use this, you see? And so we found here that the gate which is closed, that gate is in the circuits of the brain, and Jesus says that at the part of the resurrection that he's going into Galilee, which means circuit. And look how important this is. How important is that word circuit? Look on page 57. And look how important this is. We're just about out of here, so just bear a couple more minutes and you're gone. But if you look at the important derivatives of the word circuit, EI on page 57, you go down through January, Janus, from archway, Ionis, the god of doors. Look at that, Rich. You see that? The god of doors. And then you get to Hinayana and Mahayana, which is the Sanskrit, in Buddhism, the mode, the knowledge, the way. And Jesus said, the way is narrow, and few there be who find it. The way is narrow, and few there be who find it. Because I'll tell you something. You know, when you think about the survival, you know what happened yesterday in Iran? They had an earthquake. Almost 3,000 people that were alive the day before yesterday are dead now. And so what am I I'm going to say, if they had meditated, this whole world is subject to what's coming out of your head. And that's what Buddha said thousands of years ago. He said the reason that you have this total upheaval in the atmosphere and in the environment is because of all the negative vibrations coming out of the brains of billions and billions of people all over the place, causing all of the stuff. It's the same thing that when you go into your house sometimes you get bad vibes. Where are they coming from? Sometimes you brought them with you. Sometimes that house was beautiful. Everybody was singing. Everything was coming. And you were in a mood. I have had that happen to me once in a while. I get in a mood. And as soon as you open the door, you come into the house, I'm in a mood. How are you, dear? How'd it go? I don't want to talk to you. In a rotten mood. And so what do? You retreat to your room, close the door. I'll fix everything. I will stay here in my room until somebody begs me to come out. That's the way I'll fix. And so you cause all of this stuff. Or else you go into the house and you're feeling great. How are you today? And you can feel the vibes all over the place. So you create these vibes. Now, if you can create bad vibes in your house, and you can, what do you think happens when we got billions of people on the planet Earth with there's nothing more than a pimple on the rear end of the Milky Way? Billions of people having bad vibes. What's happened? The Earth is puking. What is this? Everybody's freaking out. Why? Because everybody's brain is on overload. Nobody knows. No, it's not what, nobody's got a reason. God's sitting up there. There's nobody down here with a resistor. The whole thing is burnout. They're all nuts. And they said to Jesus, go back, a second coming. He said, you're crazy. I'm not going down there. I'm going down there. Last time was nails. Now they have missiles. I'm not going down there. So this is the point. This is the point. The current must be. Give me 10 more minutes. We out of here 12:30. That'll be happy with you? Okay. All right. The current must be resisted. If the current is resisted, then the proper amount of current will go in here and it will operate properly, and brain cells at the right hemisphere will start operating that hitherto have not operated. Resistance is the key here. Okay? And here is now why. Let's look one more time so we understand it. Can you feel on top of your shoulders? Is there a round thing up on top of here? Okay, that's a head. Inside of the head is a brain. That brain is a computer. Okay, as you've seen here, that brain is electrical circuitry. Okay, if your brain is electrical circuitry, if that circuitry is operated by current, then it must have resistance. It's the same as any other computer, and so you have to treat it exactly the same. You have to understand the circuits, you have to understand the current, and you have to understand the resistance. It is no different than that, okay? Now, if you look, please, on page 57, which I've got a quote from the encyclopedia right in the middle there. And it says, the brain works somewhat like both a computer and a chemical factory. Brain cells produce electrical signals and send them from cell to cell along pathways called circuits. All right? Along pathways called circuits. So then Samael is the current that must be resisted by the circuit. And what does it say in James chapter 4 and verse 7? Look on page 989 of your Bible. And it says on James chapter 4 verse 7. And it sums up what you've got to do. All right? It says, resist the devil and he'll flee. So,
Friends and family of the internet, we have been dumbed down generation from generation. The further we get from the garden, the less we know as a collective whole. But I can tell you this, I know with a certainty, frequency is important. When I feel down, I sometimes will whistle, or I'll hum, or I will sing, or I will put on praise and worship music, and then I will get into my spiritual language, and I will just drown it all out. And until inside of my mind, I can see infinity. And I don't know if you've ever seen infinity, but the first time it happened to me, I pulled back because it was so overwhelmingly beautiful. And in my physical body, it's not for me. We have got to connect to God, not to this world. Right now, too many of us are plugging in to politics. I need you to pull the plug. Plug into a frequency of laughter. When God said, the joy of the Lord is my strength. Think about it, say it with me. The joy of the Lord is my strength. How often do you laugh? How often do you laugh? If it's almost never, you're plugged in wrong. Your currency is broken. You're not resisting correctly. I hope this helps. I hope, and I pray that this answers for some of you why you felt like maybe I just lost my way. No, it's because I unplugged. I ripped it out of the wall. Watching the Charlie Kirk psychological warfare, realizing that they were powering up something occultish and satanic with the frequency and the energy of that man's untimely demise, whether it's for real or not. Seeing the continual dangling of the carrot of the Epstein files, the frustration, seeing everything we were told by Trump somehow be turned, and realizing that man doesn't even look like it's the same man. Seeing the tech bros and the billionaires seated at the table in the White House made me realize something. The Bible says pride cometh before the fall. And there's not anyone on this earth that would tell me honestly that Donald Trump is not a prideful man. His pride, his wanting recognition, whether it is due him or not, has got him in a position that he is no longer putting you and I first. And I think that once you truly start to wake up, you're going to realize that. It's got nothing to do with anything. And I know what Christians or conservatives and MAG are going to say. Well, we didn't have a choice. Imagine if Kamala was president. See, I'm not going to do that. That is wasted energy to imagine if Kamala was president. It's a waste of energy because she isn't. In this reality right now, she is not president. So I'm not worried about wasting my time and energy imagining had Kamala been president. I'm living under Donald Trump being president. And I'm going to say this, and I hope that you get this into your spirit. You are a child of the Most High King. You are either a princess or a prince. Prince. Can I get an amen? You're not a sinner. You are a saint. That is what the Bible says. You, my friends, are the children of the Most High King. It does not matter who sits in the White House. Baby, when I tell you that you had better grab on to the fact that you serve a supernatural God, a God that can, with the faith of a mustard seed, move a mountain, who can part the Red Sea. That is a miracle working God. And in the days ahead of us, he is going to provide you shelter. It is he who will provide you food to eat when you refuse the mark of the beast or you refuse to play their games. You had better understand that the God that you serve is a real God and a jealous God. Stop believing that any man on this earth is going to stop God's plans or he's going to save us, right? Because he can't. Pray for your elected leaders because that is what the Bible told you to do. But you had better, my friends, put your trust in only one thing: Jesus. I love you so much. Like, comment, subscribe, hype it if you can. You probably can't, but hey, you know, I always fight the shadow, right? They're always fighting with me. And thank you to the ones of you that have been supporting my husband's medical journey. If you'd like to do that, receive our monthly newsletter. It's linked at the top of comments, but you have to add your email to anything that you send, or I can't send you the newsletter. So I love you guys so much. Have a very blessed day. Thank you for your time.